if I was a little more on my game. What the fuck are you doing, buddy? Nobody can drive out here. I swear to God. They just can't fucking drive out here. My wife actually saw a horrific accident on the highway today, and his truck was all twisted up, and she saw some guy who just had blood all over his face. And she goes, I was just like, how does that happen? It's like, how does that happen? How does that not happen every 5 fucking minutes out here? These people drive like fucking lunatics on the highway. You know, and so many people just have these crazy horse-powered cars now, and they fucking sit there zipping in and out of traffic. They don't give a fuck if you got a little fucking car. Oh, that's that left turn in the fucking right lane, you douche. And a half a mile an hour. Does it that way. You know why? Because they wanted to make a right on the last 2 turns, and they couldn't do it because they were blocked off. So now they're like in that like thinking thing, like, what do I do? Nah. So every move they make is like they fucking just ate a pot cookie. Oh, Jesus, Bill. But anyway, yeah, people drive like fucking lunatics. Like last night, I came home, we had the second screening of the movie, and which went great, by the way. I'm very excited about that. And I will be showing the trailer, hopefully soon in front of my shows. And anyway, I'm driving back from the screening. I'm, making mental notes, remembering what worked, what didn't. And I'm driving like 75 miles an hour, right? So I don't know what the speed limit is out here, 55, 60. I'm like 15 miles over the speed limit. I got passed simultaneously on the left and the right, like I was fucking sitting still. So if you ever come out here, it's a great place. I definitely love LA, but like people drive like that fucking idiot I was just talking about on surface streets. Everybody drives around like they ate some weed. And then when they get out on the highway, they drive like absolute fucking maniacs. I think there's a thing when like there's no traffic, like no one can believe it out here. Like you just can't believe it. So you just like, fuck, like let me just drive 100 miles an hour until this all backs up again. And I just don't think that they think about what they're doing. How bad you can get fucked up, how bad you could fuck up somebody else. Bill, is this a podcast or is it like a public service announcement? I don't know. I don't know what it is that I do anymore. I edit footage. What else? I'll tell you what else is. I'm trying to make a right fucking turn here. Oh, Jesus Christ. There's always that one douche just driving so fucking slow. That person who just has all day. You know? Why don't they understand? Look at it, wiped out a whole nother block. Just made a left on the Sunset. There's this whole fucking area. They wiped out this whole fucking block. And that's where Joni Mitchell was singing Don't Know What You Got Till It's Gone. And, Pave Paradise put up a parking lot. She sang about that because I guess there was some beautiful house there with these amazing, shrubs and greenery and all this type of stuff. And all the singer-songwriters that were broke living up in Laurel Canyon were used to always look at that place saying, man, someday I'm going to write a hit. I'm going to live in a place like that. And then just one day they just knocked the whole thing down, and built like this fucking strip mall. And they just knocked that down. And in that strip mall, there was a Chase Bank and there was a McDonald's. So you would think right there's no fucking way that's ever going out of business. And they must have offered them a whole bunch of money. Oh, gee, Bill, yeah, exactly. What do you think? They just walked in there and told them to get the fuck out? Of course they offered them a bunch of money. All right, I'm pulling into the store, so I'm going to do my spot. And I'll be back in a couple seconds, and I'll let you know how it went. Man, everything's dead. What is going on? Everything is fucking dead. The Saddle Ranch. Who would have thought that fucking place would stick around that long? The hell is that? Yeah, that's what we need. We need one more fucking game show. All right, and here we go. We're pulling into this. Oh, this is exciting, isn't it, huh? pulling in to the Comedy Store. Everybody looking down. They got the TV on over there. All right, here we go. All right, I'll let you know how my set went. All right, and just like that, old Freckles did a couple of fucking spots. One in the maid room, one in the original room. Man, I just had a fucking good time. I really did. The first crowd made me feel old. I mean, I am old, but I usually sort of connect with them. They were just staring at me like I think they were just polite or they were smart. Sometimes when a crowd's quiet, it isn't necessarily that you're bombing. It's that they're listening. You know, I'm not gonna lie to you. Some of the times it's because you suck. But I remember that reminded me when I was in Finland. They were just fucking staring at me, and I was like, "Oh Jesus, what the fuck am I doing here?" Almost got T-boned. They were just staring at me, and I couldn't understand like what was going on. I've told this story a zillion times, and then I finally finished a joke. I'm like, "You guys all right? Like, what's going on here?" And this guy was just like, "Well, why didn't you just..." And I was just like, "Oh my God." That's what they're doing. They're trying to figure out the problems of the jokes. But that wasn't. They were just sort of young and polite, because anytime I would be like saying something to them, whatever. But then I went into the OR, and I don't know why, I just went up there and started talking about homeless people. No, I know why. I was talking to a comic, and he was talking about California running out of water. And all this gloom and doom shit with, you know, the typical shit. They bring up all the gloom and doom. They have no solution. And you're like, what the fuck, right? Thanks for dumping that on me. And I was thinking, like, you know, last night I was driving. That's how I got into talking about it, because I was driving down the street, and there was just this fire. So I called 911. And they're like, 911, what's your emergency? I was like, there's a fire. I go, some homeless guy started a fire. And they go, let me put you on with the fire department. And I just kept saying some homeless guy started the fire. And, you know, I didn't see the homeless guy start the fire. I didn't see him start the fire, but I fucking blamed that guy. Anyway. So I just started riffing about that shit, and everybody was staring at me like I was an asshole. And, so I just went harder, and I kept a straight face as long as I could. I was saying that they should just take all the homeless people and push them into the LA River and wait for the rain season a week in February and just wash them all out to the ocean. And at that point, it was like dead silent in there, and I couldn't hold it together anymore, and I laughed, and then they all laughed and realized I was a fucking idiot. So... Good time had by all. At least I like to think so. There was one when the whole time I was up there, like this, her screen was on and she was like texting. That's what that happens to me a lot. And I don't know if it's like some passive aggressive way of being like, I'm going to show you how much I don't care about what you're talking about. I'm going to be on my phone. So what I do is whenever the shit like that happens, I just start sending my act in that direction, and I start acting even sillier and having if I give a fuck, which I didn't tonight, but like if the person really seems like they're trying to annoy me, or they're not enjoying my act, then I act extra silly. I kind of use their negativity to sort of propel it, you know, where as much as they're trying to annoy me, I'm annoying them. I used to do that when I was coming up in the clubs. There'd be some stone-faced person in the front row. And, you know, I used to always take the bait like, sir, what's the matter? How come you're not laughing? Or lady, what's the problem? I started to, like, you know, especially if they were down front, I would walk all the way up to the edge of the stage, and I would, like, sort of swing my arm out and hopefully be, like, above their head as I was, like, doing my acts. And at that point, they were, like, staring at my fucking dick. Set my crotch, like, right in their fucking face. And you'd only do it for a second, you know, because you never know. They could punch you in the balls. And then you just go back down to the other side or whatever. And it was funny. You could actually turn it around. At least that's how I remember it. I might be like one of those old athletes that is now just talking about their glory days, throwing a bunch of fucking mustard on it.